Okay, much needed bedtime rest, to say the least. It's strange how I said that, but either way, I hold onto a stone and I'm like, Horace, okay, here we go. What is are we to say? You know, there's people that idolize things, statues, pictures, people, and there's one thing to pay homage and respect to one another as human beings. And so self-awareness and what is and seeing as it may, and realizing how even those that teach or that you've been in classroom settings with, they have done deceitful, evil things, and they get wrapped up in things like invading your sovereign space, your sovereign being, because they themselves are in fear and they want to know what's going on, and then they invade that space, not realizing, and then they do realize, and they assume, but they truly don't know the truth of what is. Only you know truth, as in your perception, your views, your experience. And then there are those that feel like they have to take crime down in a different way. And I'm like, let the police do their work. And so there is mediums, there are healers, there are those out there of all walks of life that figure they may be able to do it better. I beg to differ. We all have special things about ourselves. It's like a foundational base of how we have grown and we are where we are today. And with that comes wisdom. There's also, though, those that have done like unethical things, and they can't escape it. They can't. So what they do is they deflect, or they will try to put others, let's just say, it's almost like, okay, this will sound weird. It's like, here you have a gang affiliation. You've got somebody who is the hierarchy person that's controlling and puppeteering everyone on the street and to do things. And they gain all the benefit. They gain the money. They gain a sense of freedom of escaping, getting caught. But some don't. Some do get caught and have to be accountable and responsible for their actions. But they puppeteer people to, think that they're all innocent, and they're not. Like, I'm talking about icky stuff here. And so we all have to pick our battles and our wars and what is, because you'd be surprised what people do. They imprint things, they puppeteer, they do things that are so beyond unethical. Like they will, it's just a subliminal thought. It's a process. It can be where somebody's doing those grids, but we're not just talking a nice crystal grid where you want to be of protection or whatever the case may be. We're talking about people doing evil stuff. They'll take somebody's picture and they'll do like voodoo, sorcery, evil stuff, because they themselves don't want to be found out. And so they'll do just not the gorgeous, nicest thing. And then all of a sudden you get the trickery and how people will have you fool in certain things and come forward, and next thing you know, you're saying something. And I was just saying, I can make a review for someone, but I know if I was to do this person could have a heart attack, because it would just probably tear that person's business down, because it's so unethical, and no amount of reviews could make up for what this person does. And it has happened before where, somebody has wrote a bad review, and then that person is in their classroom environment telling all their students, so the students can go on and write a good review, even though the students don't know the truth. They don't know the wide lens perspective of really what was it that was going on for that other person that had to write that review. And so use discernment, because you never know. You do not know the whole entire truth. You can get subliminal messages, and you can be on this frequency line where you think you're in the knowing, or maybe you're there boots on the ground with a person in person and you're hearing things, and then you're like, whoa. And that goes for another teacher as well that I know. And it's interesting how things come to you, and you're like a seer and you're bearing witness, and you're like, okay, that makes sense. Why that person's so hesitant. I can see how that would be for that person, because, oh Lord, if I would have went through what they went through, not to compare my experience with that other person, but just know what it's like when people, for example, will rob other people's ideas, or let's just say take over the role of something that someone built really a foundation on and worked really hard, and then somebody else comes in and kind of takes over, right? And just kind of diminishes the value of that other person and betrays them. There's a lot to learn from that, of the doors of opportunity and how they open up other doors, and how we all can be grateful for the experience and what we do not want to do to others. And so some people like to be idolized. Some people like to be put on a pedestal. It's almost like it's feeding them something, maybe because of their own self-worth and lack of. And don't get me wrong, we're all humans. We're all conditioned a certain way. So we feel a certain way when it comes to accomplishments, amongst other things. And so, there is evil that lurks. Don't get me wrong. It's like Anthony Williams' Angels versus Demons. Most people would think that to be a separate entity, as in angels versus demons, right? Most people think, oh, demonic beings. Well, humans are demonic, and humans are angelical-like as well. Now, some say angelical, well, that could be good or bad. And, well, demons, we know just demons to be demons. See, whereas I see angelical being that of even humans, where humans are, just they work every day with everything that comes their way, and they want to be ethical, they want to be honest, they want to be, all the good things that human beings are capable of. And then that is demonic. Well, that's those that get wrapped up in things, their fear. Then they get wrapped up into things that they brush under the carpet because they don't want to be found out. And they have this lack of self-esteem, amongst other things, going on for them. And it's beyond all that. And don't get me wrong, there's real demons. But then I realized, when I had this visitation once, and I was frozen solid kind of thing, and it was a demonic energy that came around me. And this guy that kept on throwing like energy, kind of lightning bolts kind of to my head. And we're not talking about synapses zaps or anything, because I'm not on any SSRs. So it's nothing to do with that. It's like these electrical shocks. And that is psychic attacks. And I'm like, well, guess what? That's you making that choice. That's a hungry ghost realm thing waiting for you. No wonder humans get scared when they're ready to die, or, when they die, and there's the fear, because they know it's like, okay, it's not like they used to say where, oh, you're going to be ashes to ashes, dust to dust, you're going to hell and you're never coming back, sort of thing, or you're going to heaven. We're talking, you're going to hell and you're crawling your way out of the hungry ghost realm before you ever get to live a human being experience again, because that's what you're going to be craving as a hungry ghost. You're going to want so badly to live a human being life again, but very different, because you're going to really learn those lessons. And so you just pray that those that are earthbound, that they find the light they are, and they move along. I call it, there's places like the golden temples in heavens above where there's learning opportunities for all those who cross. But it's beyond that. It's, it's a place where they have their life review and amongst other things. So, I mean, do you want to cheat yourself out of a life review and end up in a hungry ghost realm, craving to see things from a whole different perspective in the golden temples and heavens above, right? Above the consciousness of human being vessels that weigh people down. And so it's a choice. If you want to be an evil person, it's a choice. If you want to be a good person, it's a choice. The truth of all that is in different faith, it's beautiful to hear about people and their faith and their belief and whatever it may be, not to take anything away from anybody. We all have a right to have faith in whatever it is that we have faith in. The reality, though, is when we cross and we have done magnificent work and we've been good human beings in a way of love and kindness, there is that place that we all get to meet. And it's not about the religion aspect of it. It's not even about politics. It's all about the experience, our experiences. How did we have patience? Did we have love? Did we have kindness? How did we deal with everything? How did we overcome, let's say, breaking the chains of abuse? How did we flourish and grow and become better people? And that's, something I didn't expect to talk about on this video. But there are really good, genuine people out there with all walks of life, being of love and kindness, being genuine and kind with one another. That is what matters, and coming together in a way of peace. You're seeing it more and more where there's different faiths, that they come together in peace talks. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But there are those that are not capable of it because they're evil and the things that they do. We're talking evil witchcraft, sorcery, voodoo, where they do things that are very unethical. Don't get me wrong, there are those that label themselves as this and see themselves as good and of light and of love. At the same time, are they being that way with themselves as well? Because I just know that I've had many, many, many teachers. There are many of them that are making fame and fortune in the limelight of things. It's all about business. And can they really live with themselves? Can they truly live with themselves knowing that they are affecting people's destinies, their ascensions, whether it's good or not? Can they live with that? It comes right back to the basics and taking care of yourself. It's not because you're a narcissist or not that I thankfully have ever been named that, but we all look at it and go, okay, these are the qualities, these are the traits. Like, is this possible? Ticky box, possibly here and there, with everything that has to do with the DSM. These studies that they do, how accurate are they truly? It's only as accurate, as truthful as the people supplying the information. And so that's what it really comes down to. So learning to be true within your own authentic self, being as true, as capable as you are, being honest and ethical and not getting wrapped up in the rigmarole crap that goes on. Don't get me wrong. There's times I reflect back and I'm like, oh, if I would have just done this and not went to this class and opened those portals of spirituality, I'd be in a whole different place right now. Possibly freer than one can imagine, but I also would not be in the knowing. I wouldn't have gained the wisdom that I've gained today, and knowing there are certain things you let go of. Because again, if I would write this review where I felt sexually violated more than once in a classroom setting and the different things that went on that are very unethical, because this person opens up portals to people's souls, to people's vessels, to people's, their bodies, one and the same kind of thing, where they're doing really unethical things because they want to find out about your check records, which I heard just yesterday. I'm hearing somebody ask somebody, can I have access to your life review? Like basically what just happened. It's like, are you kidding me? Lord love a duck. So just be aware. Use discernment. Use discernment. There are people out there that will do anything for their fame and fortune. They will. It's rather disgusting. And yet, who am I to bear judgment on it? If anything, we're supposed to say thank you very, very much for showing me what I want nothing to do with. Even if you had that opportunity to be a billionaire, would you really want to handle that in a way of having to entrust other people, even to help you with your money, amongst other things? Some say yes. I don't know. It depends on how desperate you are. Because, it just kind of makes you wonder, right? About it's even if you look at professionally in lines of work and you see there's people on the bottom of the totem pole that work really, really hard. They still find joy. They still find peace. Look at people in Africa. They find peace despite what their circumference and what's surrounding them. Even in places like Cuba, I've witnessed that. And so at the same time, though, you just know there are those that are at desperate measures where they want fame and fortune, they want prestige, and they don't want to lose that. They don't want to lose their prestige. They wouldn't know what to do with losing prestige. They just wouldn't, unless they know what it's like to lose it all. When they know what it's like to lose it all, and they persevere and they come back and they rebound in a way where they're able to bounce back, it's a little different. But even then, right? Self-awareness, understanding and accepting yourself for who you are. Everything from, just what is. And so for me, I know there's forgiveness to be had, but it's really, really hard when you are in a clear knowing of things that people have done, as I'm sure it's for them as well. And so we live in a world where people are doing trickery, they're doing evil stuff. It's like that saying, if you can't beat them, join them. I'm not selling my soul for anything. I'm divinely connected to my soul star, which is connected to my soul. So nothing can be my soul star but me, myself, and I, and oneness in the way I am. People talk about parallel lives, which I believe is very possible, but at the same time, I'm concentrating, focusing on this life. Past lives? Well, that'd be really convoluted. Parallel past lives, can you imagine? That's why we have the vessel, weigh us down into, they say we have lots of room in the brain to learn. My heart, consciously, my heart of many hearts today was touched by someone in a lineup at the grocery store. And this little person, I said, what are you singing? And then I was told, well, I just sing whatever. She goes, I sing silent in my mind too. And I thought, oh, how beautiful. I too do the same thing. I have. It's the gentle reminder. And then told, that, the innocence and the beauty. And I just I sang in the grocery lineup store. And I said, and when you get in the car, you sing like no one's listening. Because then nobody can bear judgment upon you if you decide to sing, no matter what, even if you sing out of tune. It doesn't matter if you're in tune with your instruments or not. If you are feeling rejoice and you're feeling love and you're feeling your light and your heart lighten up, this is good. It's other people that tear people down and rob them of their light, but we too can rob ourselves of the light in a way of judgment, insecurity, amongst other things. So to be reminded of that. And so be yourself, be kind to yourself. Don't get me wrong. I was told, don't change who you are, as in just keep being a love and kindness. Be who you're meant to be genuine, be sweet, be honest, continue to be those things. And so I have to just know that my grandmother is there with me no matter what. Because I know she studied with the Jehovah's Witness people that used to come to her house. And so I'm kind of querying now what my sister told me, and I have to ask her just to confirm. But either way, I got validation. It was like tonight, knowing her presence was there, or was it trickery? I still use discernment because you have to. I'm not a ghost. I'm a human being living a human being experience. And I'm not just going to assume everything I hear or I receive to be correct. And I'm reminded too, before doing this video, about those that steal people's ideas from them. And all of a sudden, they're Nobel Peace Prize winners for certain things. And meanwhile, they didn't do it alone. They stole it for someone else. People that do the same thing with their writings, with just different things that people have done. And so it just kind of makes you wonder about this world and consciousness. And yes, we're to forgive ourselves, but at the same time, doing that first and foremost is most important. And being able to forgive others. At the same time, I can be a catalyst for change, all right, and make a big change with this organization and others and stand my strong. But what battles do you really want to take on is what I ask myself. Really, what battles do you want to take on? Some of these people have been programmed since children to do certain things certain ways in a cutthroat sort of way, to order to be in fame and fortune and do what they do. Maybe it's because their parent didn't do it, and then the parents living vicariously through the child. We see that all the time. It's like you ask a professional player and their parent probably played as well, whatever it may be, whether it was hockey or, you know what I'm saying, or maybe a grandparent. And so I just believe that there are those that imprint, that invade people's sovereign space, invade people's bodies, invade people as a whole, and invade their space. And that's when people are tormented and tortured. They're not them, they're not themselves, and there's more than what meets the eye. So we do have to have compassion, there's no doubt. I just get that we have to be cautious because there are some people that are real game players, tricksters, and they think because they're part of a prestige club sort of thing, they have to live with themselves consciously. They really do. Because when it comes down to it, if somebody tells you to jump off a bridge, are you going to jump off a bridge? What, take one for the team kind of thing? I would hope not. I would hope that you just live. and recognize when you find out the truth, even if it's from someone else's perspective, you use discernment. And then maybe when the blinders are taken off, the curses, the hacks, that whatever it is they're putting out there, I'm like, Archangel Michael, whatever it may be, you know? Yeah, it can be anyone. It could be Yahweh. It could be whoever you call on. You can call on gods, whatever it may be. Shower down on me clarity. Take the blinders off so I may see, please and thank you. May it be turned the other way around if they're trying to turn my world upside down, whatever it is that they do. Because they themselves are afraid that they're going to get caught for their own demise and the evil things they've done. Trust me, those are the ones that investigate other human beings' lives, and they're nosy, they poke and they prod and they do all these things. They're jealous, they're curious. And really, it ricochets right back at them. And then they wonder why such pain and suffering. But don't get me wrong, there are those that go through pain and suffering because they're good people and they haven't done anything wrong. It's because the others that are full of jealousy, that play trickery, that do horrendous things to puppeteer them, to mastermind, manipulate other people. You know, even tonight, myself, I'm just like hearing this rigmarole stuff, and I finally just like, ugh. And then feeling the presence of someone, I'm like, you know, I even asked, is he not dead yet? Has he not died yet? Like Hungry Ghost realm material kind of thing, where he will be craving how to do life all over again and maybe do it where he's not a compulsive liar. I know that doesn't sound of love and kindness, but you get to a point where when somebody's invaded your sovereign space, your sovereign being has imprinted things in your home, and you know it because you sense it, you feel it, you have a clear knowing of it. And you even get, you know, signs and symptoms of what that person is dealing with, being really sick. And I'm talking about physical things. It's not mine to bear. The sore throat is not mine to bear. The bodily pains is not mine to bear. When people are going through chemo and radiation and they're going through that horrific, you know, feeling, and then people go, oh, look, they're doing awesome. They're doing amazing. Wow, that's unusual. How is that such a miracle? Those people are doing warlock, witchcraft, sorcery stuff to basically avoid the experience. They're robbing themselves of the experience, and they find that out. And they're like really trying to transcend it onto others. It's evil. It's just downright evil. And so my soul, myself here as a human being is not open to anybody just coming in. So for example, earlier today, I heard, oh, this person asked, can you please help me because I have strep throat? And I'm talking about energetically, right? And I'm like, yeah, nope, don't know who you are. Like, you can end up, see how my cheeks are turning all red? That's because somebody's trying to transcend through me. And so then you get where it's like all of a sudden I'm in the bathroom and I'm feeling like as if I have strep throat. I don't have strep throat. It'll be gone soon enough because my beautiful team of guides, my angelical guide, you know, my guides, it's like, help. We shouldn't have to do all these prayers of different sorts that people are trying to teach people because of desperation and thinking that we're all like broken. It's creation, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, these mastermind manipulators, they want to make money. And there's some that are making money on less fortunate situations, like wars and genocides and things of the sort. And it's pretty evil what people have done behind the scenes. If you know, you'd be shocked. If you knew, you'd be shocked. And so sometimes even everything from a seminual thought that comes in, it's like you can be laying in bed at night and programming can come in. And we're talking about not nice programming while you sleep. So you pray, please, angels, keep me safe. Don't allow them to send that seminal garbage to me, please, and thank you. It's like me, when you take a sleeping aid, right? And then when you don't and you lay awake because you have problems sleeping. At one time, I had nothing in my system. I didn't have to have any medication of any sort. And the doctor said, oh, if you can do anything, take your sleeping aid. And it's not a SSR, thankfully, but either way, you take your sleeping aid, and then all of a sudden, when you don't, and then you get the crashes in your head. This has been going on way before me taking this medication. This was happening when I was not on any medication at all. I used to live in West St. Paul at the time when that started to happen. And so, it sounds terrible, but I heard the same person that started doing this to me, a person from Europe, was selling the idea to those in China to torture their own people that are psychic. You imagine? Showing them how to basically smash into people's heads where they feel like they're getting electric shocks to their head, like coming down and shocking them. And so I had a big one that came through, and I was just like, yeah, we're talking hungry ghost realm. We're talking about hell dragging themselves out of the hungry ghost realm. That's demonic. That's evil. That's not acceptable. And so they're trying to control human mankind in different ways. And even the way they imprint and they tell people certain things. It's evil. And then you get these people doing messages about, oh, don't talk about evil, because when you're talking about evil, blah, 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 right? Be careful who you listen to, because when they're channeling messages, their own experiences come through. And most people are like, oh, no, they step back and they allow to be a clear conduit, and that they allow themselves to channel, and that they're able to, do this, and they sound very different because they're a trans medium, and the fortune, like they're able to forecast a future and all this stuff. You have to use discernment, especially if they're telling you, oh, if people are doing this and people are doing that, that's for their own demise. And I know, because this person did a walk-in on me and used me kind of like a, well, you're almost like a puppet. And so be careful out there. Seriously, be careful. I'll leave you with that.